Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This week I'm going to teach you a sequence all about the muscles of the bum, the glutes. So I'm going to start you in child's pose. And take your variation of your child's pose, so you can go knees together, knees apart, arms out in front, or you can soften your arms down by your legs, so totally up to you. And just start by taking a really big breath in through the nose and clearing it out through the mouth. So the reason I'm going to teach you a sequence all about the muscles of the bum is because these muscles are super important to support our pelvis, our lower back. So those of you who suffer from lower back niggles, often we need to kind of strengthen the muscles of the glutes. So just keep breathing deeply. Feel free to take a few more sighs out through the mouth if that feels good for you. Also, another reason I want to work this area is because our glutes are the area that, or are the muscles that allow us to move forwards in life. Literally, in taking a step, we have to use our glutes to propel us forwards. So you can kind of think of strengthening your glutes as a way to strengthen that ability to move forwards. Maybe that ability to create change or move from a place where you might feel a little bit stuck. I love to think of our yoga practice as a way to find physical strength, but also a way to find strength in your everyday life. Okay, another big breath in through the nose and clear it out through the mouth. Start to come to all fours and just move through some cat-cows. As you move through your cat-cows, really try to deepen the breath. Let the breath lead the movement. And then just think about your foundation. So really think about spreading the fingers wide, pressing down through every single knuckle, every single finger. Your hands want to be roughly shoulder width distance apart, knees roughly hip width distance apart. And if you want to add any additional movement, feel free to. So maybe you start barrel rolling the spine, or doing a little figure of eights, moving the head a little bit more, still arch and round if that feels good. And close your eyes while you do this so everything kind of draws inwards. Okay, and then come to a neutral spine on your all fours. We're going to extend the right leg behind you. And what I want you to do is lift the right heel towards the bum. As you do this, make sure you're not opening the hip to the side. You actually want to pull the hip down towards the mat. Rotate the inner thigh upwards and then squeeze the heel closer towards the sitting bone. Think about the bottom of the bum and really try and pull that part up, like the sitting bone is trying to pull up towards the lower back. Slowly re-extend the leg and drop the knee down. Okay, from here, left leg moves back behind. Remember, lift up the bottom of the sitting bone and then pull the left heel in towards the bum. Make sure inner thigh is rotating towards the sky, so the left hip is dropping down, and then squeeze a little bit more. Should feel the glutes switch on. Good, and then re-extend the leg first, and then lower the knee. And come into a downward facing dog. So when you're ready, pressing it back, lifting the hips, and then just starting to walk out your dog. So any movement that feels good, that works for you this morning or this afternoon, wherever you're at in your day. Again, a full deep breath. So you want to think about breathing chest, ribs, and all the way down to the tummy. And take a moment, notice how the body feels as you start to move. Do you feel stiff? Do you feel open? Do you feel stressed? Do you feel worried? Whatever it is, try and let it go. And just try and focus in on your breath. And then from here, take an inhale, tip forwards into a plank pose. So the shoulders are now over the wrists. Just going to take a moment in your plank. When you press the mat away, so we really round through the upper back, then squeeze the bum muscles on. Draw the thighs up and in, so the legs are switched on. Couple more breaths here. Think about the heart lifting up. And then take one more inhale. Exhale, drop the knees and then the chest all the way down, lots of control. Okay, we'll take an inhale to come to a baby cobra. In your baby cobra, press through the backs of the feet, lift through the chest, draw the elbows towards one another. Okay, from here, you're going to start to draw the right heel in towards the bum and flex the foot, and then think the sitting bone drawing up and in. Good. Keep that shape of your cobra, so chest is still pressing forwards. Re-extend the leg. Release. Left heel in towards the bum, flex the foot. Draw that left sitting bone up and in. Keep the chest moving forwards, squeeze. Good. Re-extend the leg. And then big breath in. And then exhale, press it back to your downward facing dog. Okay, from your down dog, we're just going to bend the knees, look forwards, walk your feet as many times as you need to, as many steps as you need to get to the front of the mat. And then just come into a gentle ragdoll, swaying the body from side to side, releasing the back of the neck. You can always give your head a little nod, a little shake. Good, and then interlace the fingers behind the lower back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, draw the arms up and over. Breathe into the chest. Keep the knees bent, just so you're a little bit soft for your first couple of forward folds. And then take one more inhale. As you exhale, release the hands down to the mat. We're going to heel toe the feet together. Take an inhale, sweep to stand. So as you come up, switch the muscles of the bum on, like the lower butt is pulling up towards the lower back. And then as you exhale, we're going to fold all the way down. Release the back of the neck, hands flat. So bend the knees if you need. And then take an inhale to your flat back. Pulling the shoulders back, lengthen it. As you exhale, plant the hands. You're going to step the right foot back, then the left. And then we lower down, knees and chest. Just one more time. Inhale to your cobra. And then start to draw right heel in towards the bum. Pull the sitting bone up and in. Re-extend that leg. Left heel towards the bum. Pull the sitting bone up and in. Re-extend that leg, big breath in. And then exhale, downward facing dog. So in your downward facing dog, we're trying to stretch through the back of the body. So I want you to notice that. Notice the length of the spine. Notice the length of the back of the legs. Some of you will need to bend the knees a little bit more. Some of you will have the heels lifted. And that's absolutely fine. But just notice that length, because we want to see how much the body transforms throughout the practice. And then on your next exhale, we're going to bend the knees, look forwards. Step the right foot first, and the left. Inhale, flat back. Look up, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Okay, inhale, sweep to stand. So come all the way up. Reach nice and tall. Remember, squeeze the bum. It will slow you down. And then as you exhale, same thing. As you fold, squeeze the bum. It should kind of slow you down, create that resistance. Inhale to lengthen through your flat back, so shoulders are pulling back. And then as you exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back, then the right. This time you can lower down your choice, knees and chest or chaturanga. Big breath in to your cobra or your up dog, lifting the chest. Big breath out to your downward facing dog. Full breaths here. Check in with the fingers, make sure they're still spread nice and wide. I often kind of look towards my hands just to check that those foundations are really good and strong. And then press the mat away so that you're reaching up and out through the armpits. And on your next exhale, let's bend the knees, look forwards, left foot first and the right. Inhale, lengthen through your flat back. And exhale, soften and fold. Okay, inhale, chair pose, bend the knees and lift the chest. So here, if you wanted to take a few more sun A's, you can. Feel free to. I'm going to move on to like my variation of our sun B's, but if you need to kind of take longer to warm up, then just do a few more sun A's here. Okay, so your chair pose, I want you to squeeze the sitting bones up and in, and then think of the sides of the butt pulling in as well. Okay, big breath in, and then exhale, fold and release, tuck the chin. Take an inhale to lengthen through your flat back, shoulders back, and then exhale, plant the hands. You can step or float back, your choice, and again, lower down, your choice, knees and chest or chaturanga. Big breath into your cobra or your up dog. Big breath out to your downward facing dog. From here, inhale, sweep the right leg up and back behind. Move slowly and squeeze the bum. And then exhale, step through. Keep the back heel lifted. We take an inhale to a high lunge, so reaching nice and tall. And then as you exhale, we're going to lean forwards and sweep the arms back. See if you can pull the shoulder blades together there. And then inhale, arms are going to move forwards, but keep leaning forward so you're nice and low. Exhale, spin the back heel, open wide to your warrior two. Shift the feet. Inhale to reverse your warrior. Look up to the sky. And then as you exhale, bring both hands down to the mat. And step it back. Either move through your vinyasa or just go straight to a down dog. So anytime you want to skip these out, just skip them out. From here, inhale, left leg to the sky. Sweep it high. Squeeze the bum. Exhale, big step through. Keep the back heel lifted and take an inhale, strong high lunge. Exhale, you're going to lean forwards and sweep the arms back. Chest is low. Inhale, arms move forwards. Exhale, spin the back heel, open wide to your warrior two. And then we inhale to reverse, reach nice and tall. And then exhale, bring both hands down to the mat, step it back. Again, take your time. Move through your vinyasa or straight to your downward facing dog, big breaths. So in your downward facing dog, get that sense of the hips moving up and back. And the heels softening down. Don't worry if the heels don't make it towards the mat, but the intention is there to lengthen. On your next exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step yourself to the front, big steps. Inhale to lengthen, flat back, and exhale, fold. Okay, inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. So just one breath in this time, squeeze the butt. Exhale to fold and release, tucking the chin. Okay, inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float, your choice. Lowering down. Big breath in, think collarbones wide. Big breath out to your down dog. Same thing, inhale, right leg sweeps to the sky. Exhale, big step through, back heel stays lifted, take an inhale, high lunge. Exhale, lean forward, sweep the arms back. Inhale, arms move forwards, but keep the chest low. Exhale, spin the back heel, open wide, warrior two. And then inhale to reverse it, reach tall. Exhale, bring both hands down to the mat, step it back, take your time, vinyasa, or straight to your down dog. Inhale, left leg sweeps high. Exhale, big step through, back heels lifted, inhale, high lunge. Exhale, lean forwards and sweep the arms back. Inhale, arms move forwards. And then exhale, open wide, warrior two. Inhale to reverse, reach tall. And then exhale, spin both hands down to the mat, stepping it back. Take your time, try not to scrape your foot, do your best. So when we don't scrape the foot, we use our tummy and our hip flexors a little bit more. So when you move through those transitions, as you step back, really think about how you're stepping back. Try not to rush it, try and lift the foot cleanly off the mat. Okay, on your next exhale, bend the knees, look forwards. Step or float to the front, your choice. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. And exhale to fold. Inhale, chair pose. Bend the knees, lift the chest, palms together or apart. Exhale, fold and release, squeeze the butt. Inhale to lengthen, shoulders pull back. And then exhale, plant the hands, step or float, your choice. Good. Inhale to lift. Think about pulling the chest forwards and up. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg slowly to the sky, squeeze the bum. Exhale, step through, back heels lifted. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, lean forwards and sweep the arms back. Inhale, arms move forwards. And then exhale, open wide, warrior two. Use your breath. Inhale, reverse, reach tall. And then exhale, bring both hands down to the mat. So remember, try not to scrape your foot, take your time. Big breath in, collarbones wide. And big breath out, down dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky, just when you're there. And then exhale, big step through. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, lean forwards and sweep the arms back. Inhale, arms move forwards. And then exhale, open wide, warrior two. Good, big breath in to reverse it, reach tall. And then big breath out to bring both hands down again. Try and lift that foot cleanly off the mat. Big breath into your cobra or your up dog. Big breath out, downward facing dog. Okay, so for those of you who want to have a bit of a longer practice, need more of a warm up, take that variation. of like your sun bees one more time, maybe twice. We've done it 3 times. If you're happy, you can either stay here, take a child's pose, have a moment to breathe, and when you're ready, just think about rejoining. So our next bit, inhale, sweep the right leg up and back behind. So what I want you to do is make sure that that hip isn't open and lifted. Actually draw the right hip bone so it's kind of facing towards the mat. And then think about the inner thigh rotating up to the sky. Now keep the legs straight and try and kick that right foot out to the right hand side as far as you can. As soon as you do this, the side of the bum is going to kick in. Really keep squeezing, keep rotating, inner thigh up. Good, press the mat away. Come back to center, release that foot down. Inhale, left leg up and back. Again, flex the foot, rotate inner thigh up. So we don't want to be open like that. We want the left hip to pull down. Now keep the foot lifted, move it out to the left hand side as far as you can. Squeeze the side of the bum. It might feel quite crampy. Breathe, breathe. Good, come back to center, release that foot down. Okay, from here, handstand practice. Those of you who don't want to take a handstand practice, either ragdoll or child's pose. So if you're going to come into a handstand practice, but you're like, I don't know really where to start, what you're going to do is walk the feet up halfway. Then you're going to lift, let's say left leg to the sky, and you're going to start to shift the weight forwards into your hands. So now my shoulders are kind of roughly over my wrists, maybe a little bit further forwards. Then I lift my right heel high, and you should bring some weight into the hands. Press the mat away. Good, you can work there for a little bit, or switch over, switch the legs over. If you're taking your handstand hops, just go gently, try and land softly. Keep pressing, 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 mat away. Think fingers spread wide, hands shoulder width distance. Good, and we'll meet in a ragdoll at the front of the mat. Just when you're ready, try and relax through the shoulders. A little sway, a little bounce, if that feels good. Okay, from here, release the hands down to the mat. Heel toe the feet together. We're going to take an inhale, come to chair pose. So bend the knees and lift through the chest, squeeze the bum. Okay, so as well as the bum being engaged from the side and from the bottom, kind of pulling up and in, we need to think about the ribs. We kind of worked on this in my core flow. I want you to think ribs pulling back into the body. So therefore you lengthen the tailbone down. Hip bones moving up, ribs in, squeeze the butt. Good, big breath in. And then exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to bring the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Coming into your standing pigeon. Take your time, find your balance. Some of you will stay here and work some strength and a bit of a stretch into the right hip. Some of you are going to bring the hands down to the mat and you'll work your arm balance from here, your flying pigeon. If you're staying here, squeeze the left sitting bone up and in. Try and think about that right knee pressing down towards the mat, hips are low, and flex the right foot. So we're strengthening the left butt cheek and we're stretching through the right butt cheek. Okay, wherever you are, we're going to meet. Just when you're ready, chair pose, big breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center, other side, left ankle on top of the right thigh. Weight goes back and down. Again, if you want to take your variations, if you want to take that arm balance, you can. Otherwise, try and drop the left knee down to the mat, flex the left foot, squeeze the right butt cheek. Good, breathe. Keep the chest lifted if you can. We tend to want to move forwards. Try and keep the shoulders over the hips. It's more challenging for our balance. Good, okay, chair pose. Just when you're ready, big breath in. And then exhale, fold and release. Crow pose. So for those of you coming up, go for it. Those of you who don't want to work a crow pose, you're going to work your seated squat. But remember, you can always work your crow pose and just kind of create a little bit of the shape. You don't feel like you have to lift a leg if you're still kind of working on it. You can create this shape. So hands shoulder width distance apart. Knees, when we start, tend to go to the outer upper arms. And then what you want to do is think about just bringing some weight forwards into your hands and lifting the hips. And you can just sway back. So that can be where you start. Good. Bringing some weight into the hands again. When you're ready, once you've taken your variations of your crow pose, either move through a vinyasa or just go straight back to your downward facing dog, your choice. And then once you're in your down dog, let's all take a big breath in through the nose. And clear it out through the mouth. Okay, from here, inhale, sweep the right leg up and back behind. And then as you exhale, knee to nose. So shift the weight forwards, round the upper back, get the thigh bone closer to the ribs. Now squeeze the heel closer to the bum. Good. Inhale, sweep the leg up and back. Exhale, knee across the body, so left upper arm. Now extend the leg. We're going to come into fallen triangle. So reach the left arm to the sky. Lift through the hips. From here, sink the hips with control all the way down to the mat. So you're now like seated with both legs straight, wide-legged seated position. From here, bend the left knee, bring the foot halfway up the mat. Right hand stays down. Inhale, lift. So you're like in a little wild thing. Squeeze the bum. Exhale, slowly lower. This is where you've got to use that control of your bum. Try not to rush. As soon as the butt hits the ground, you go inhale and lift straight back up. Reach to. Exhale, super, super slow to lower. Good, you might feel that burning. Inhale, lift. This time, exhale, left hand down to the mat. Inhale, sweep the right leg up and back behind. And then exhale, big step through. Back heel stays lifted. And take an inhale to a high lunge again. Okay, so in your high lunge, really press through that front heel so you're energetically lifting up. Get the back leg strong so it doesn't want to just be hanging down. We want to keep the energy through that back leg. Now, if you can, think about those hip bones just slightly pulling up. So there's less of a distance between the ribs and the hips, and that's going to work the core a little bit more. Okay, big breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to twist to the right. So left elbow is going to wrap around that right thigh. You've got different variations you can take here. Some of you might want to open arms. Some of you might want to bind. Some of you might want to lift left elbow off the right thigh, but keep the twist. That way, you're creating kind of an active twist rather than the passive twist. Breathe. Try and keep lifted. Try not to be sinking down. Lift, lift, lift. Okay, we're going to meet in a high lunge. Big breath in. And then from here, once you get your balance, don't worry if you're wobbly like me, then you're going to bring hands to heart center, and we're going to come into a warrior three. I always say try not to do this thing that everyone does, which is just kind of shoot up into it. I want you to use control, so bring all the weight forwards and start to lift the back leg slowly with control. Good. Okay, now here, just make sure left hip isn't opening up. Draw left hip down towards the mat. Kick the heel up and away. Chest forwards, ribs in. Now start to draw left heel in towards the bum. Remember, pull the bottom of the sitting bone up and in. That's really going to work the bum hard. Good. Re-extend the leg with control. And then left knee tucks in behind the right knee. We come into this little skater squat. I actually don't know if this is what it's called. It's kind of what I'm calling it. So my left toes are actually out to the right-hand side of the room. Both knees are bent. The inner thighs are squeezing. And I'm nice and low. Then what I want you to do is maybe challenge yourself. For some of you, you're going to be like, this is burning already. I need to shake my legs out. That's fine. But for some of you, you might be able to lift the left foot off the mat, flex the foot, and then go lower, like you're hovering down off the mat. Good. Breathe. We slowly open up to a half moon on your inhale. So right fingertips might find the mat or a block. Left arm's going to reach high to the sky. Good. Now either point or flex the back foot. Lift it higher. When you do that, you start to work the muscles in the side of the bum. Then from here, if you can, start to think about moving that foot slightly in front of you. So it's over to the left-hand side of the mat, but keep the left foot high. Good. Again, side of the butt. Good. Okay, from here, little bend in the right knee. We're going to step back to a warrior two. Again, no jumping. It's lots of control. So step back. Then lift the right hand. Good. Shift the feet. Breathe into all the sensations. Press the mat away. Press the fingertips away. Big breaths. Okay, from your warrior two, let's reverse your warrior. So look up towards the sky. If you want to take your half bind, you can. Breathe into the right hand side of the body. Really think about reaching tall rather than just leaning back. This back foot needs to be active, so dig through the outer edge of the back foot. Okay, big breath in. And then exhale, come back to your warrior two. Okay, from here, inhale, straighten through the right leg. Exhale, spin the right toes to face the side of the room. Hands to hips. So here, just make sure that your toes are facing forwards or slightly in and heels slightly out. Okay, bend the knees, press the hips forwards, really squeeze the bum forwards, and then think about lifting through the chest and leaning back. So you come into a bit of a back bend, you're standing back bend. Okay, big breath in, and then exhale, fold into the legs. Hands down to the mat here. If you want to, you can come into a tripod headstand. Otherwise, just take your time, release, relax into this. And then maybe use your breath to find strength and length through the spine. Tilt the weight forwards into the toes. Big, long, deep breaths. Good, okay, from here, we're going to hop the heels in. You might need to bring the feet in a little bit closer as well, but heels in, toes out, now the knees are bent. Now as you come up, bring the hands to the thighs, so we're like in a goddess pose. What I want you to think about is try not to lean forwards, try to actually lift the chest much, much harder. Watch the knees are going to want to drop in. You've got to squeeze the side of the butt to press the knees out. Okay, starting with a twist, big breath in. Exhale, left shoulder forwards, look over that right shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale, pull the right shoulder in and look over the left shoulder. Good, inhale to center. From here, we're going to take a little crab pose, so you can just go from side to side. Some of you, that might be enough. For some of you, you're actually going to bring your hands down your shins, but notice as I do this, my bum sinks down as well. Some of you might take your hands to your ankles, keep your chest lifted, and then move from side to side. This will burn. Okay, just make sure you're not like that. It's what most people in class do. Hips low, chest lifted. Squeeze the side of the bum, couple more breaths. Good, and then bring hands down to the mat, hop the heels out, fold forwards again, and just kind of re-feel those legs. Okay, we're going to walk ourselves around to the right foot. Spin onto the outer the edge of the right foot, so you're now back at the front of the mat. Here, so both sets of toes are now facing the right-hand side of the mat. I bring my left hand just slightly in front, reach the right arm to the sky. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, lower the hips down to the mat just as much as feels okay. So the left leg stays straight, the right arm is now reaching to the back of the room. Inhale, lift back up and reach the right arm to the front of the room, so to the front of the mat. And then exhale, lower. Left leg is straight, both feet are flexed. Inhale, lift back up, lift the hips high. And exhale to lower. Good, okay, from here, inhale, lift. Think about your side plank, how are you going to get there? So we're going to step right foot back. Some of you will take the right foot in the right hand. Lift through the hips. Any variations here are welcome. But I want you to think about almost banana-ing your body. So hips are high, left shoulder's pulling down the back. Good, once you're ready, you're going to come to plank pose. Try not to use gravity. Move super slow, like it's slow motion, to come back to your plank pose. Okay, from here, I want us to come into forearm plank. What we tend to do is just like wiggle the hips like nothing else when we come into forearm plank. Try to come into forearm plank with control. So you squeeze the bum, squeeze the thighs, get the tummy engaged. Come down gently. Lots of control. Okay, pressing the mat away, drawing the chest up. Then from here, some of you are going to work toes towards the elbows into your dolphin pose. Some of you are going to stay here, some of you are going to work your pincher. For those of you who are working dolphin and it doesn't feel good in the shoulders, think about bringing your hands closer together or interlacing the fingers. For lots of us, it feels much nicer on the shoulders. Then when you're there, really think about pressing the armpits back, shoulders away from ears. So if you can walk the toes maybe in a little bit closer. And when you're ready, child's pose. Big breaths in your child's pose. Okay, from your child's pose, we're just going to go straight onto the other side. So downward facing dog. And then on your inhale, left leg sweeps high to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. So shift the weight forwards, round the upper back. Get the thigh closer towards the ribs, get the heel closer to the butt. Good, inhale, sweep it up and back. Exhale, knee across the body, so we go right upper arm. We extend the leg out, fall in triangle. Reach the right arm tall, lift through the hips. Good, then slowly lower the hips down with control. You're in this wide-legged seated position. You're going to bring the right foot halfway up the mat, sole of the foot onto the mat. Inhale, lift. Lift through the hips, squeeze the bum, reach the arm forwards. Exhale, you slowly lower, lots of control. Good, and again, inhale, lift, straight back up. Exhale, super slow to lower, so you've got to use your bum to fight against gravity. Inhale, lift. This time, exhale, bring the right hand down. Take an inhale, sweep the left leg up and back behind. Just shift yourself on the mat if you need. And then exhale, step through. Back heel stays lifted. Inhale, high lunge. Good, breathe. Feeling sweaty. Okay, think about back heel lifted high. So you get a really good stretch for the arch of your foot. Draw the ribs in, hips up, belly's engaged. And then drive through the left heel as well. That really helps keep that connection to your glute. Okay, big breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center, twist your left. Right elbow wraps around the left thigh. You can take your variations, you can open arms, you can come into a bind. Maybe you lift the elbow off the thigh. If you're staying with your hands together, really press the top hand down. Use that to help you get a bit of a better twist, or deeper twist, I should say. Good. Oh, feel wobbly the side. Okay, inhale, lift back up. High lunge. Okay, then from here, remember we're moving in slow motion to our warrior three. So hands to heart center. We're going to lift the back leg up for your warrior three. You can always hop it in a little bit, but try not to kick up, because you just take kind of the integrity out of the practice. Okay, chest forwards, heel kicking away, flex the foot. Draw the right hip down, and then start to draw right heel in towards the bum. Good, squeeze the bottom of the bum up. Really think about activating that. Okay, re-extend the leg, and then right knee in behind the left. We're in our little skater squat, so the right toes are now over to the left-hand side. Okay, squeeze the inner thighs, go low. From here, some of you might lift right foot off the mat. Flex the foot, go even lower. Good, you should feel that hamstring and that glute really kick in. Okay, from here, inhale, open to your half moon. Some of you might hover the fingertips, some of you will bring the fingertips down, some of you will use blocks. Never be afraid to use your blocks, and then think about lifting the back foot higher and towards the right hand side, like it's coming in front of the body. Good, breathe. Okay, back to your warrior two. Bend the left knee, step it back. Try not to go with a big jump. Try and move with control. Shift the feet as you need, like you're trying to stretch the mat apart with the feet. Good. At the same time, pull the inner thighs up and in. Squeeze the bum. Okay, big breath in. You reverse your warrior, so you look up towards the sky. Left arm reaches tall. Breathe into the left-hand side of the body. Think about lifting up and away from the hip joint rather than kind of collapsing down. Lift up. Good, breathe. One more inhale. Exhale takes you back to a warrior two, and then you inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, spin the left toes to face the side of the room again, or the side of the mat. Hands towards your hips. Bend the knees, squeeze the bum. Really kind of press the hips forwards. So you lengthen through your lower back first, then you come into your little back bend. Breathe. Take one more inhale. And then exhale to fold. Can't really talk in a back bend. Okay, in your forward fold, we're going to take an inhale, look up, lengthen halfway. And then interlace the fingers behind your back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, draw the arms up and over. If anyone's like desperate to go into another tripod headstand or some kind of inversion, feel free to. Otherwise, stay here, squeeze the shoulders, draw the weight into the toes, press the upper arms away from one another. Good. Hands down to the mat or come out of your inversion. Hop the heels in. Toes are now out. Hands to the thighs. Squeeze the bum so the knees don't drop in. They want to press out to the side. Okay, coming into your twist. So we're going to look over to the right shoulder. So firstly, big breath in. Exhale, look over the right shoulder. Let the left shoulder pull in. Really move the shoulders there. You'll get a good stretch. Inhale to center. Exhale, look over to the left. Pull the right shoulder in. Use your hands against your thighs. Good, inhale to center. Okay, again, remember some of you are just going to do your little crab from side to side here. Some of you are going to come down, and this is hard. Make sure the butt lowers, try to keep the chest lifted. The bum is in the sky, and you're like this, and just come back, hands to the thighs. This will still work. Breathe. From here, hands down to the mat, hop the heels out again and fold. Just release that out. Start to feel your legs again as you breathe. Good, okay, we're going to walk ourselves around to the left foot at the front of the mat. We need to spin onto the outer edge of both feet. So the toes are now facing towards the left-hand side. Just shift the feet if it feels a little bit uncomfortable. So for me, I had to move my left foot a little bit further down the mat because I'm a little bit tighter on the side. Okay, right hand is a little bit in front. Reach the left arm to the sky. Big breath in. Exhale, lower. Try and keep the bottom leg straight. So your right leg straight, left hand to the back of the room. Inhale, lift. Now reach the left hand to the front of the room. You get that side stretch. Exhale, lower with control. So working strength and stretching the hips. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. This time, inhale, lift. And then think about coming into your side plank. So stepping left foot on top of the right. Draw the right shoulder down the back. Some of you might think about taking variations. We need to think about, if you've got your feet together, flex the feet. Draw the thighs up and in, and now squeeze the butt higher. Good, coming with control to your plank pose. Try not to use gravity, just shift yourself on your mat if you need to. Now again, when we come into our forearm plank, we're not going to move our hips too much. Just squeeze the bum, draw the belly in, draw the ribs in. You can come down one forearm at a time or both at the same time. Good, pressing the mat away. Belly's engaged. Squeezing the bum. Then think about your dolphin. So walk the toes in. So we're trying to walk the toes in so much that the hips start to lift above the shoulders. Try not to collapse the shoulders forwards like that. And you also don't want to be back on the shoulders like this. We want the shoulders directly over the elbows. Stacking joints create strength. Just a couple more breaths here. Go for it if you're working into your pincher, little hops. And then we'll meet in a child's pose. And find your breath, big, big breaths here. And take a moment, notice how different this child's pose feels from when we started the practice. It was our first pose, so just notice what feels different in the body, what feels different in the mind, how's the breath, how's the heat. Okay, downward facing dog. And then on your next exhale, we're going to bend the knees, look forward, step or float to the front, big steps. And then inhale, lengthen flat back. And exhale, fold. Okay, inhale, sweep to stand. Remember, switch the muscles of the bum on, lift. And exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, we're going to come into dances. So weight goes into the left leg. So how I like to come into dances is just bring my hands to heart center, draw the right knee into the chest, flex the foot, then move the foot behind me. I take the inside of the right foot with the right hand. The left arm's going to reach forwards. I'm going to start to kick and lift. As you do this, really kick in to your back hand. Try and squeeze the bum as well. So keep the bum engaged, the back of the leg engaged. Good. Breathe. Okay, slowly releasing. Come down, give your legs a shake out if you need. Then we're going to come straight onto the other side. So weight into the right leg, hands to heart center, left knee into the chest. Then start to move that left foot behind you. Take hold of the inside of the foot if you can. Otherwise, just take hold of the outside, that's fine. And then reach the right arm forwards, kick and lift. Good. Squeezing the left butt cheek, keep the chest lifted, press into the hand. Ooh. And slowly come out when you're ready. So don't worry if you wobble through your balances, it's fine. You just come back into it when you're ready. And you try and keep that kind of sense of focus. So we're going to come straight onto the first side again. So weight into the left leg, right knee in towards the chest. We're coming back to that dancer's pose. Taking hold of the foot. Find your balance. And what I want you to try and do is think about squeezing that right butt cheek so much so that you can let go of the foot, but keep the foot where it is. Good. This will challenge your balance, but also make you work the muscle of the bum. Good. When you're ready, release. Okay, coming on to the other side. So weight into the right leg. Remembering this is all a little bit of fun. Never take it too seriously. So weight goes into the right leg, left knee into the chest. I'm going to start to play with this variation. So firstly, just come into your normal dancers. This side is definitely more wobbly for me today. Squeeze the bum. Now can you think about lifting, letting go of the foot, keep the hand where it is, try and keep squeezing the heel in towards the bum as close as you can, keep the chest lifted. Good, and gently release. Give your legs a little shake out if you need. Okay, from here, we're going to step the left foot out. So you're facing the side of the room, but keep your feet roughly hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. Hands to your lower back. Again, press the knees forward, squeeze the bum like you're thrusting your pelvis forwards. Lift, 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 lift. Breathe. Again, another back bend, standing back bend. One more inhale. And exhale, fold all the way down. Okay, from here, interlace your two-piece fingers around the big toes. Bend the knees as much as you need. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Think about the heart moving forwards and down. Weight being in the toes. Good, okay, and then from here, this is just supposed to be a little bit of fun, but it's quite hard work, so it might not seem that fun. Right hand out to the right hand side, kind of a little bit in front of you as well. Then we're going to bring all the weight into the right leg. Bend the right knee if you need to, that's fine. Then draw the left hip up. So the left foot is off the mat, but you've still got hold of the big toe. Then from here, so it's like the bone is drawing up towards the pelvis. And from here, we're going to start to lift the left leg out to the side and as high as you can go. Good. Squeeze the side of the bum. Good. Both sides of the butt have got to work. So the right-hand side's got to work so you don't fall over to the right. Good. Gently release. If you've got a little bit of cramp, which often people do, just give your hips a little wiggle out. Keep moving. Let's go on to the other side. Weight into the left leg. So left hand over to the left-hand side, slightly in front. Interlace your two-piece fingers around the right big toe. Lift the right hip up in space. Good. Then from here, start to move that right leg up to the sky. Keep the foot flexed. Squeeze the side of the bum. Lift it higher. Kick the heel away. Good. And slowly release. And give your legs or hips a little wiggle if you need to. From here, roll the spine up to stand. Last thing to lift will be the head. And then we'll set the left foot forwards to meet the right, so we're at the front of the mat. Feet together, toes touch, hands to heart center. Okay, big breath in, sweep your prayer tall and look up. Big breath out to fold all the way down and release. Inhale, lengthen through your flat back. And then exhale, plant the hands, step or float, vinyasa, or just press straight back to your downward facing dog. It's kind of whatever you're feeling, whatever you need in your body. From your downward facing dog, inhale, let's sweep the right leg up and back behind. Exhale, step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. So your choice of lizard here, if there's something you're working on, go for it. I'm going to lower my left knee and I'm going to spin onto the outer edge of the right foot, bringing my right hand to the right inner thigh. Just because this is such a good stretch for your glute, for your IT band, kind of that area we've just worked. Hips are forwards, not back here, but forwards. And then some of you might think about taking hold of the back foot with the right hand. So left foot with the right hand. If you do that, take hold of the outer edge of the foot. Just so that the shoulder's open. So this variation, it's like a little bit of a twist as well. Some of you might come down to the left forearm. Breathe. Little added challenge, those of you who've got the back foot, squeeze the heel. See if you can let go of it just for a couple of breaths. Good. Keep the heel where it is. Keep squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Good. Release. We're going to meet in a full or a half split. So if you're half split, you're just going to shift the weight back, flex into the right foot. It's a couple of variations in your half splits. Some people like to kind of sit on the back heel, and that's fine. If that gives you a good stretch, then fine. But I find for a lot of people actually lifting the hips up and thinking about lengthening the chest forwards really, really helps that stretch through the back of the leg. Also a good stretch for the calf. Think about pulling the heel back in space. Good. From here, pigeon pose. So we move forwards, we shift the foot over to the left, knee over to the right, walk the back leg a little bit further back. Come onto forearms if that feels okay. Maybe you come all the way down. Maybe support your head. So supporting your head with a block is always a really good idea. Breathe into all the sensations around that right hip. And if you find that you kind of flop to the side, loads of people I find in class do this. They just flop the hip to the side, and then they're not getting such a good stretch. So try and keep your hips, I suppose square is the right word, so you're not dipping down to the right, you're keeping your hips level. Good, okay, from here, we're going to start to move back to a plank pose. How you come back to your plank is actually quite important. What we want to, or what we tend to do is kind of do this thing where we like really lazily move back and forth and then come into our plank pose. If you can move with much more control, you'll work your tummy a lot harder and you'll start to create more core strength, more stability. So I'm going to press the mat away straight away. So like my shoulders are already in that position of a plank pose. Then I'm going to lift my back knee. Now all that needs to move is my right leg. That takes much more strength than the first version. Squeeze the bum, big breath in. Exhale, lower knees, then chest. Come all the way down onto your tummy. Okay, we're going to bend the knees, catch hold of the outside edges of the feet. And then when you're ready, take an inhale, kick and lift. So you kick into your legs, you lift through the chest. Some of you might stay more on your tummy. Some of you might come back onto your thighs. Good, I can't really breathe in my back bones, but we'll give it a go. Or that's the wrong thing to say, I can't really speak in them. And release when you're ready. Place your head to one side, wiggle out your hips. Take a moment, breathe. It is also really hard to breathe in our back bends, so you have to really concentrate on finding your breath in your back bends. It's quite a big challenge. Okay, back to your downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Then your variation of your lizard, but some of you might lower the back knee. Take your left hand to the inner left thigh. Hips move forwards, remember, rather than back here. Good, open through the chest. God, that noise outside gave me a fright. It's got lots of road works going on outside, so I'm hoping that this sound system works and you're not hearing that in your yoga practice. Okay, so remember, you can come down onto your forearm, you can lift the back foot. And then if you've got the back foot, just for the last couple of breaths, can you keep the heel where it is? Squeeze the bum, squeeze the bum, squeeze the bum, but release the foot. Good, and release, and then we'll come into our full or our half split. So I'm just taking half split. So we shift the weight back. Left foot is flexed. Remember, you can come all the way down if that feels good for you. Otherwise, keep the hips lifted. So what I actually think about is my hips moving backwards, and that helps with the stretch. You can always bend the knee. If it's too much, you just bend the knee. You basically get the stretch that feels good for your body. Don't feel like you have to push your body into a particular position or it has to look exactly like what I'm doing. It doesn't. I just want you to get a good stretch to the back of the left thigh and maybe the calf as well. Okay, coming forwards, we'll make our way into that pigeon pose. Walking the back leg maybe a little bit further back. Maybe using blocks underneath the head or underneath the hip. So I could probably do with a block underneath my hip here because it's lifted. And you just kind of soften into it. You don't want it so far in that it kind of keeps you from softening into the stretch, because as you go through a journey of maybe 2, 3, 4 breaths, you should soften and release a little bit more, so you might lower a little bit more. Okay, and then from here, can we find that strong plank pose without shifting all over the place? So take out that additional movement, press the mat away, lift the back knee, and then just step the left foot back. Big breath in. Exhale, lower knees, then chest, lots of control. Same back bend, or take hold of the inside of the feet. So as your bow pose, there's different variations. Squeeze the bum, inhale, kick and lift. One more inhale. And exhale, release. Place your head to the opposite side. Wiggle out the hips. And then let's come to a downward facing dog again. And then once you're there, come through to a seated position, however you want to get there, spine. In your seated position, let's extend the right leg out in front and draw the left knee on top of the right. So we're taking Gomukhasana legs. So here, the outer edge of my left foot is on the mat or on the floor. If you want to, you can draw the right heel in. For some of you, that's going to be too much. If you do that and you notice your left hip's lifted, try and draw the left hip down. If you want to, just keep that leg extended, so it's kind of totally up to you. So in your Gomukhasana, hands to the hips, or just to the outside of the hips, inhale, lift, and then exhale, maybe fold forwards. Notice how that feels in the hips. Breathe into it. So for me, this is a really full-on stretch. I have to really think about my breath. Otherwise, the muscles just kind of grip and I don't get a release or a sense of a stretch. Okay, from here, lift up. Either just swap your legs over, or we do a little Michael Jackson, so you're going to move over to the right and then go all the way around, and you should land, theoretically, with your legs the other way. Shift if you need to. So I'm kind of on the outside edges of both feet, and then I'm lifting up with breath in, and with the breath out, you're going to fold. If this feels really uncomfortable, even with the bottom leg extended, then just go into a cross-legged seated position and fold forwards, and you should get a bit of a stretch to the glutes. So I'm hoping that we're all feeling this kind of outer hips into the bum a little bit. Good, and then lift up. Release the legs out in front. Give the legs a little shake out if you need to. And then we're going to lower all the way down onto the mat. So feel free just to keep your legs extended and to lower down. Or a little additional challenge. You're going to bring your heels close in towards your bum. Make sure you've got enough space to roll down. So heels close to your bum. Now keep the feet rooted round the spine and come all the way down slowly. Really try and keep the toes down, heels down. Try not to let them slide away from you. Good. Once you're there, straight into bridge, wheel, or supported bridge. So with your wheel pose, with your bridge pose, that's what I'm going to take and I'm going to show you guys. You're going to lift up through your hips. You're going to interlace the fingers underneath the back. Roll the shoulder blades in. Squeeze the butt. Okay, thinking here, I want to try and press my tailbone towards my knees. And I want to draw my shins back towards my shoulders. So it's like I'm trying to drag my feet back towards me. When you do that, you'll switch the muscles of the bum on even more. If you want a slightly additional challenge, walk the feet away from you, just maybe like a foot. Squeeze the bum. Again, traction the heels back towards you like your shins are trying to pull back. Good, should feel quite intense. Good, whenever you're ready, release. And hug your knees towards your chest. Rock from side to side. Take a happy baby. Drawing the tailbone down. Remember, you can always take the backs of the thighs. Quite often I have to take the backs of my thighs because my hips don't feel great in a happy baby pose. And then we're going to end with a twist. But if you want to, take an inversion now. So you might want to take a shoulder stand, or maybe a handstand practice, whatever it is, go for it. Use a wall if you want to. Otherwise, knees drop over to the right, head over to the left. You can wrap one leg over the other if you like, or just keep them one leg on top of the other. Good. Breathe into your stretch. Breathe the length of the body. And then when you're ready, knees back to center. And drop them over to the left, head over to the right. Again, you can just keep the legs as they are, or you can wrap one leg on top of the other. I want you to take a moment to actually notice all the changes in the body, all the changes in the mind. Does the mind maybe feel a little bit clearer, a little bit lighter? And if it doesn't, don't worry. It's just the fact that you've taken time to notice, taken time to reflect and actually check in. Okay, bring the knees back to center. So if you've taken an inversion, maybe now your time is to come down onto the mat and then just give your knees a hug and find a twist. So basically start to end the practice how you want to end the practice. If you've taken a shoulder stand, maybe you take a fish pose. And then when you're ready, there's no rush, but you're going to find your way into your Shavasana. Release the legs, release the arms. Palms are going to face up. Completely relax all the muscles of the face, the jaw, the tongue in the mouth. And ultimately, we just use our Shavasana as a way to find a moment of peace and also as a way to practice our meditation. And so many of us feel like we're rubbish at meditating. We can't do it. We can't sit still. And those people, and that's including me, we need it the most. So just do your best. Try to, for the next few minutes, see if you can stay here even for 5 minutes, maybe for 10 minutes. Just focus in on something, whether it's the sounds outside of the room. I've got lovely drilling and things outside in my room. Or maybe it's the sound of your breath, or maybe you're going to put a piece of music on and you're going to listen to that. But find a point of focus, and when your mind wanders, just bring yourself back to that point of focus. So obviously, if you can stay longer, please do. Otherwise, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe give yourself a really big stretch overhead. Think about drawing the knees in towards the chest, rocking from side to side. And roll over to one side or the other. And then push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Keeping your eyes closed and bringing your hands towards your heart. Take a moment to thank yourselves for taking the time out of your day, your no doubt busy day, to practice. Take a moment to thank yourselves for your breath, your energy, for your body. And let's end with a big breath together. So inhaling through the nose fully and deeply. Open mouth release. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and hope to see you soon. As always, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And hope to see you next time.